March 9th, I received the following email from Mayor Davis. Hi Sarah, you may want to add this at the next council meeting. The Comox-Strathcona Regional Hospital Board has increased annual payments for minor equipment purchases and projects from $5,000 to $10,000. Cheers, Martin.
So you want the money from
Councillor Joseph, please, if you can't wait until public input, excuse yourself.
Make me leave.
I will not make you leave. You are an adult.
You're gonna have to put up with me, because I'm absolutely tired of what you've done to this town. And you haven't answered any of my questions. I've written letters in the past. You completely ignore us.
Derek, it's not your turn to talk. Please put your name on the list if you want to talk. Other people care. Other people care about civics.
Oh, yeah?
Really? You gavel and everything?
Point of privilege.
No, it's Councillor Joseph's report. You can come second, Doug. Councillor Joseph, you have a report?
Just need one read.
No, you can wait.
But you allowed Mayor's comments basically be added to G1. I'm asking that it's pertaining to the question that you just read out to the public. I'm asking to make a point of privilege statement based on what that was said.
You can wait your turn. You have a turn to talk. You do not get to take the gavel from the chair, and I will ask you to wait your turn. Other people can go first. Do you have a report?
This is shameful. That's it.
Well, that's how frustrated we are, though.
Please,
We've been
refrain.
left with no choice.
I appreciate your input at public input.
No, you don't.
We didn't allow those.
Look, he will get his turn, and it is not your turn.
She said privilege.
Other people care. You're not the only one.
We should be filming this.
We are. Councillor North said you have a report. No report.
Again.
Councillor Elliot, it's your turn.
Thank you, Mr.
Could you explain why you have your film this? I don't see it on Mr. Tahsis' monitor.
It's not your turn, it's his turn.
Well, you just said you were filming this. Why are you filming this?
This is part of more of my defense that I'm basically issuing in my reports. In this report, I would like to share with you my opinion of the legal documents presented to me by this administration. As you know, McElhaney is our engineering firm that is heavily relied upon on projects in this community that have been financed over the years. My first opinion of their services was right after the system was implemented in 2016. I was surprised. Actually, I'm just going to cut this because it's not really pertaining to tonight's agenda. So I will skip right to support for Councillor Fowler and Norcott's request for a apology. For the record, I did consider Councillor Fowler and Norcott to be in conflict of interest concerning the fire hall plan due to pecuniary interest. It was abundantly clear that the public shared that view, and that created high tensions in both the councillors engaged in shouting matches with members of the public, like tonight, and admitted that their spouses received incomes from the fire department. I put forth a motion to postpone and advise the councillors to seek legal advice concerning this matter. Giving advice is not attacking an individual. Indicating that I would bring this matter to a higher authority is merely letting the councillors be aware that this is a serious matter and it needs to be addressed. Putting forth a motion to postpone the decision concerning the fire hall gave the two councillors an opportunity to receive legal advice. Any hostilities that the councillors received at that point was a result of their own refusal to seek legal counsel. However, the CAO was correct in seeking legal opinion and provided me with a copy of the advice from their attorney commissioned by the village on November 30th, 2022. I agreed with their attorney that the pecuniary interest is so minuscule that the councillor's household income would not benefit to a degree that would deem them in conflict. But since that time, the electors of this village have put forth a petition that they still perceive the re-elected councillors in conflict of interest since they would be voting on a project that would benefit their spouse's work environment. I stated that if my wife belonged to the fire department, I would declare myself in conflict and remove myself from the discussions. I also advised the two councillors that they should seek legal advice concerning the petition. not happened as far as I know, and the mayor has refused to recognize the petition. I have referred to the two re-elected councillors in my January 24th, 2023 mail-out as the councillors perceived to be in conflict by the petitioners, a statement that is accurate and as a result of their refusal to seek legal advice concerning the petition. The previous legal advice did not cover the concerns of the petitioners. I have reminded the mayor that he's not a lawyer and this matter needs to be taken seriously. I have relayed this information to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs. However, it's very clear from the recent reports in the media that the provincial government has a history of not interfering with local governments, and it is up to the individuals to take these matters to the Supreme Court for a ruling. It is very apparent that this council is moving forward with the fire hall plan despite opposition from the community that they serve. This is very disturbing, and I'm very disappointed how you, the taxpayers, are being ignored. As far as Councillor Fowler's request for a public apology from me concerning the mail-out on January 24, 2023, it is my opinion that everything I stated concerning your conduct and the perception from the electors that you are in conflict of interest is true. This, I suspect, is having a negative impact on your reputation throughout the village. You accused the petitioners of using coercion in obtaining signatures for the petition without any evidence, and it was my opinion that this was an attempt to discredit a member of the community that has brought legal action against you for a prior conduct. Mr. Pevoy's letter, for whatever reason, he changed his mind and wanted his name removed from the petition that contained 25 other signatures and wrote a letter to this council that stated that by no means was he coerced and was disappointed with your statements. The council ignored this letter. Discussions were never pursued concerning this correspondence. Your accusations were false that night. You stated in your request for your apology that your record is not up for popular debate amongst the Tahsis residents. I disagree with you. Your conduct in public meetings is always up for debate. You are a public servant, and if you choose to conduct yourself in a dishonest manner, that will have a negative impact on your reputation. Your use of profanity and the refusal to answer questions has created hostilities from the public. As a neighbor, I've stated that I will not tolerate any violence towards any member of this council from the public. I've also requested that the public present their questions in a calm and respectful manner. Any hostility that you've experienced from your conduct as a councillor is your own fault. And in my opinion, it should be you that apologizes, not to me, but to the taxpayers of this village for your recent conduct. After reviewing the legal documentation that's been issued to me, it is shameful that this village is subsidizing legal action against me on your behalf, and in my mind, this is a complete waste of taxpayers' funds. And for the record, the closed meeting on March 10, 2023 was not announced at a previous open meeting, which is in violation of the Community Charter, Section 92. Thus, any decisions from that meeting would be invalid. Their legal counsel advised them to put forth that motion to censor in an open meeting. However, that would not allow them, or that would allow discussions concerning the motion, and it is blatantly clear that this council wishes to avoid that. Amending a bylaw that restricts my access to legal counsel and puts me on the hook for any damages that may result from my opinions, well, I'll let you guys decide. But concerning the amendment, that's a violation of the Community Charter, Section 89. You cannot discuss or adopt a bylaw at a closed meeting. This decision was also a result of a number of meetings amongst the elected officials that have launched this illegal action against me, another violation of the Community Charter. I'm currently working on my next mail-out and will address Councillor Norcott's request for an apology in the next public meeting. And I wish to make a statement concerning the sewer issue experienced by Ms. Hayden. It is my opinion that the bylaw 645/2021 was not adhered to, and the village, under the direction of the CAO, failed to investigate and repair the defective infrastructure in a reasonable time that was located on an easement next to Ms. Hayden's property. It is the village's responsibility to investigate any sewer issue and repair the system as soon as possible in the interest of public safety. If the failure is located on private property, I believe the cost for the repair should be shared. However, if the point of failure is located beyond a resident's property line, the village is solely responsible. We as taxpayers pay water and sewer fees every year to maintain these essential services, and the level of service can be measured by the actions of the staff of this village. In the case of Ms. Aiden, the level of service was a complete failure due to the intervention of the CAO. It has been my observation that this community is not treated equally by the CAO, nor does he possess the qualifications to make decisions concerning the repairs of the infrastructure. These decisions should be made by the Superintendent of Public Works. As a former employee of the village, it is my opinion that this matter should have been repaired by the village within 2 days, and it was completely unnecessary for Ms. Aiden to hire a contractor to prove that the problem did not exist on her property. The CAO's interference with this matter has led to a legal dispute that is not in the best interest of the village, and as a result, the administration of this village has lost credibility with the taxpayers of this community. Ms. Aiden is a senior citizen, and in the middle of winter was without any sanitary service for over a month. This is a shameful event, and another reason why I believe this village needs to restructure the Public Works Department and remove any interference from the CAO. Ms. Aiden was forced to take this matter to a civil resolution tribunal to recover the cost of the repair of from the village. The village claimed that it cannot be found liable in nuisance and denies any negligence, and that the failure point, not located on Ms. Aiden's property, was her responsibility. Not only is this defamatory, it is a complete false, and in my opinion, Ms. Aiden should be entitled to additional compensation for the grief that she suffered due to the actions of the CAO. The CRT ruling ruled in favor of Ms. Aiden, and it is now my understanding that the CAO delayed the payment to seek further legal advice. In my opinion, the CAO is using the financial resources of this village to engage in further legal action and is clearly abusing his authority. This is rather disturbing behavior, and it is not an isolated event. We, the taxpayers, should not be subject to this blatant abuse of power, nor should we be financing the legal costs that are incurred by the CAO. This council is allowing this type of behavior to exist, and you, the taxpayers, are unfortunately paying for it. I would be interested in knowing how much money has been spent on the legal action against Ms. Aiden and Mr. Brown, and why this information is being withheld from the public. In the name of decency, the village should issue Ms. Aiden an apology letter from the mayor concerning the conduct of the CAO. Thanks for coming out, guys.